Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers. I've got another book from Thomson Reuters, Sweet and Maxwell, in a series of books they've published. Similar cover to the last one. This is a book from Anthony Jennings. It's called Oil and Gas Production Contracts, not to be confused with the other book that I reviewed recently on exploration contracts. It's the companion volume, and it's an excellent book. It's about 400 pages. It's got a very detailed index at the back, which is of course very important, very useful, and the book actually is structured very similarly to its companion volume, and very much in line with Sweet and Maxwell publications, with paragraph numbers on the side. There's a useful introduction at the beginning from Mr. Jennings, which explains what the difference is between this book and the production book and the exploration book. Let me talk a bit further about it. We've given it a title, and I've produced a Flickr review in detail, and the review is on all the main internet sites today that take reviews. We've given it a title called Jennings Strikes Oil Here, and what we're basically talking about in this book is what people might be looking for in these very specialist works. It's a slim book, but it's detailed, and you've got to know a little bit about what the subject matter entails. What we've said though is, if you're looking for a legal text on oil and gas production contracts, look no further. This is the book for you. One that is authoritative, detailed, international, and precisely targeted to this particularly specialised area of law. With me so far? And you are? Right. Well, this is the book for you, because Anthony Jennings and his team give some definitive and practical legal advice on oil and gas production contracts, applicable of course in all jurisdictions worldwide. So, oil and gas production contracts is not, we are sure you will note, to be confused therefore with oil and gas exploration contracts. Different specialist areas, different book. Actually, the first is a sequel to the second, both by the same author, as I've indicated, and if you have client companies in the oil business, you will ultimately need both of them. Certainly there can be great lengthy periods of lead time between oil or gas exploration, that's looking for it, and production, extracting it, and marketing it once you've found it. But once your client company really has struck oil, this book emerges with flags flying as an invaluable advisor and practical guide to all contractual matters pertaining to the production process. And it's a matter which is in the news currently, and I'm sure will be around for a long time to come, many decades. So author Anthony Jennings knows whereof he speaks. As head of a specialist team of contributors to this text, that's from Denton Wild Sapt, McGrigor's, Norton Rose, CMS, Cameron McKenna and Chevron, he is a former himself senior legal advisor at Chevron Texaco, and a member of the UK's Energy Lawyers Group, and author and contributor to a number of books and publications on oil and gas, including natural gas agreements. A big area, £1 billion enterprises here, so it's very important. As he explains, therefore, Mr. Jennings in his book says it completes the suite of agreements encountered in the upstream oil and gas industry. And as I've indicated, I think it's a very important book for the early part of the 21st century. The different kinds of agreements that emerge at successive stages of oil production are dealt with, and they include the following, which I'll just go through for ease of reference to those of you interested in this area. They cover the license or production sharing agreement that emanates from the client company's relationship with the host government, the agreements between the joint venture companies themselves, agreements between those companies and their third-party service providers, as well as their agreements with other joint ventures. oil and gas sale and purchase contracts, and finally agreements for acquiring or disposing of producing assets or license interests. So the nature and the purpose and the terms of all these agreements are examined, including what they should provide for and how they should provide for it. It's intended, of course, to be read as a coherent whole. The book, of course, can certainly be used subsequently as a reference tool. It does what the title and the cover indicate. It provides a detailed understanding of all the common production phase contracts in which each clause is systematically analysed. And of course that's very much the type of work we as lawyers, both as counsel and as solicitors, are employed to do. Therefore, what we've got here are valuable insights which are offered into the nature, purpose and consequences of each contact, together with a renewed awareness of the common pitfalls of each. In fact, I said contact, it's contract. While it is not within the scope of the book to go into individual detail about specific government regulations, of which there are many, and so forth, of course, except for purposes of illustration, its focus on the common features of production contracts worldwide make it a valuable addition to the energy lawyer's library, virtually anywhere within today's global economy. So Jennings certainly strikes oil here. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.